All right, this is the agenda that I'm going to follow this evening. I do want to just remind everyone that Seasonal Affective Disorder Awareness Month, and that is just, it's been proven that people, when you go into the holiday season, that there are many people who are affected by it. And so to be compassionate to that and recognize that. It's also National Impaired Driving Prevention Month. All right, I do want to just address that we now have certified Narcan trainers in the city of Hyattsville. Really excited about this because these individuals volunteered to be Narcan trainers. They took the class. They worked with the county. That we are waiting to be recognized by the state to be able to do Narcan training for our community. One of the challenges that we had with being part of the opioid response network was that we had to wait for the county to come out and actually do the training. So Reggie, who is the lead, went out and solicited volunteers. And so again, we thank our volunteers because we will now have more regular Narcan training opportunities for not only the staff, but the community. Okay, we had a trolley trail extension event last week. This was sponsored by the Gateway CDC and at Maryland Mead Works, and it was followed by a tour to Mount Rainier, a walking tour. And the whole point was really the missing segment of Rhode Island Avenue. But I will say that there was a lot of history about the trolley trail and what it means to the city of Hyattsville and what it means to our community. Gateway West is now a neighborhood watch. They have 9 neighborhood watch signs that are displayed throughout the community. Our police officers are working with the community, the HOA. They are organizing and trying to just watch out for each other and take care of each other. Demystifying Medicare coverage. Our other senator attended that. That was Senator Washington. He was here and he spoke to the crowd of seniors and just wanted to make sure that they understood everything they needed to know about Medicare. That was hosted by our Aging and Wellness Manager, Marcy Lefevre. She does these monthly. These are brown bag lunches that she does with our seniors on topics that are very interesting to them and things that they need to know. The next workshop is on the 16th, and it's going to be on employment resources for older adults. But they'll be able to understand some of at the last class, they were able to understand some of the choices and quite frankly, open enrollment, which is a little confusing to many people, and the comparison of plans. So again, I want to thank Marcy, the community services team, and Senator Washington for coming out to that. And then we did a bunch of things for Thanksgiving. So I'm just going to flip through some of these slides. This was Thanksgiving dinner for the youth. They had 45 attendees at the youth center, and that included family members, lots of games and just a good time and sharing words of gratitude. I want to thank Reggie Bagley for cooking Thanksgiving meal for the staff. Our police officers and dispatchers, of course, have to work on Thanksgiving. And so he came out and cooked a big meal for them. And he had 2 sous chefs or servers. I'm not sure what role they both played, but we want to thank Councilmember Redmond and Ms. Renee Harris for assisting with the service of food. We also 75 meals donated by Sardi's and Mid-Atlantic Seafood, and they distributed the meals to residents in the community and in Friendship Arms. And then another 152 holiday meal bags to our public schools for families in support of need, in support or who had a need. And that top picture at the top left-hand corner is all the staff who went out and volunteered to pack all of these bags for distribution. Some upcoming holiday events: Winter Wonderland lighting. That's going to be on this Friday, December 6th, 7 to 8. Battle of the Lights, that goes on every year, as you recall, and that's just when you all nominate homes in your communities. And then making calls, Mr. and Mrs. Claus making house calls. These are phone calls to young kids. If the deadline is this Friday, so if you would like a call to your child, please make sure that you register. And if there's anything like reminding the child to make the bed or be nice to their siblings or whatever you'd like them to say when they call, they're happy to do that. So that's Mr. and or Mrs. Claus calling the young people. Okay, upcoming events. We've got a community book read discussion. That's the discussion called The Sum of Us by Heather McGee. And that is going to be hosted by our equity officer, Shakira Luamar. So that's tomorrow evening from 6 to 7. life stories. You know that the youth center does that. They do, it's like theater, and they put on shows. And then cooking. They have a cooking clinic with Chef Carlos on Thursday, December 5th this week. Caretakers Partner Support Group is on December 6th. And again, the call from Mr. and Mrs. Claus. Winter Wonderland tree lighting, I mentioned that. Bulk waste drop-off event. And then Shop Small, Taste Big. That's going to be both in West Hyattsville and out here in the Arts District. And we'll have a shuttle bus going back and forth. A lot of businesses are going to be serving food, and it's going to be a really nice event. So please support our small businesses on December 7th, this Saturday from 12 noon to 5 p.m. And then seated yoga class is also coming up on December 9th. Life Stories again, board games with gents. That's a senior activity. That's on the 12th. Battle of the Lights holiday nominations close, so that's when you nominate your neighbors. Night Owls, December 13th. And Winter Market. That's going to be over in Hyattsville Crossing at One Independent Plaza. And that's just going to be a big market of vendors and food and just a good time. And our efforts there are to activate the area. Zumba fitness class is on Wednesdays, every Wednesday at 4 p.m. And we got some committee meetings coming up before we meet again. We have Board of Supervisors on the 3rd, Shade Tree Board on the 4th, Education Advisory Committee on the 9th, Ethics Commission, Environmental Committee, both on the 10th, Police Public Safety Citizens Advisory Committee on the 11th, Youth Advisory Council on the 12th, and Health, Wellness, and Recreation Advisory Committee also on the 12th. And we do want to just wish Councilmember Lee a very happy birthday. And she had her birthday yesterday, and Sandra Shepard, our Director of Community Services, birthday is on the 10th. And Mayor and Council, that's all I have, unless I do think there was a question that came up on the Teen Center that I will be happy to toss to Leslie or Hal to just address that. And then I'll be happy to take your questions.
Okay.
Okay, Leslie, Hal, if you want to talk to the delays at the Teen Center.
Can you stop sharing the screen for a sec?
Oh, thought I did that. Yes, I can.
Thank you.
Oh, and I'm not on screen. I'm not on screen either anymore. Okay.
All right, Hal, can you go ahead and address the Teen Center, please?
Yes. So we did have a couple of delays with the permitting from Prince George's County. We did have to make some modifications to the front wall of the building. We recently got those permits approved, and the steel contractor is fabricating the new steel support structures according to those plans. So the hope is that they should be out there. We thought they'd be out there last week, but there was a delay in the steel fabrication. So we're working on getting a revised schedule, but they should be resuming work pretty soon. And that's just the work that you could see. There has been a lot of work going on inside the building. They were able to get some of the utilities roughed in, the plumbing, the electrical, some of the interior walls have already been installed. It's just, you can't see them from the street, but once the steel gets installed, the roof will go up, the front wall will be finished, and the building will come together relatively quickly once that happens.
Thank you, Mr. Missel.
And Mayor, any questions for me? I'm happy to take those.
First of all, I'd like to say happy birthday to Ms. Shepard and Michelle Lee. Appreciate you calling them out. Colleagues, questions? Mr. Redmond.
Thank you. Hopefully an easy question about parking decals. One of the things that excites me most is those park mobile stickers coming to meters everywhere throughout the city. Is there an estimated time that will be completed? I know there were some questions about Baltimore Ave, specifically the 5500 block, but also over on America Boulevard as well. We don't have them.
I'm sorry, Reggie, I'll let you take that one. I know I'm pretty sure we got those in, so we've been in placing those, but I'll let you address that.
Yes, that answer is absolutely correct. I believe Councilmember Redmond, you were in with us during the staff meeting one day when they came in, and I was able to show them to you. The delay, I won't call it a delay, but there's a process in finding the exact place where they should go and being able to hang them up in the most prominent places because we only have a limited number of them in. So we are kind of looking at the areas where they need to go to be able to put those up. But yes, coming soon. And especially in time for when our holiday free parking ends in the city lots, that we should have all of those posted where they need to be.
Well, and thank you. I bring it up because we will be having a event over here at UTC very soon, and it would be unfortunate if people came to park and they couldn't because they didn't know all of their parking options. So if someone comes through with some stickers, I'm happy to hang them. I'm happy to do whatever to help facilitate that before we have this great big showcase over here at UTC. More to come. Check my social media if you want to know about it.
December 14th.
Thank you. Ms. Straub?
Yeah, sorry I wasn't quicker on the draw, but do we still have an expected finish date for the teen center, even if a rough one?
Mr. Metzler, are you still here?
Yes. Obviously, the schedule will be revised a little bit, but we were looking at a February finish, and based on the several weeks that we were delayed, the finish would probably be delayed about the same amount of time. I know the contractor wants to try to make some of that time up, which is why they did some of that interior work. So once we get the new schedule from the steel contractor, we'll have a revised schedule for the finish date. But I don't foresee it being too much later than the several weeks we were delayed waiting for the permit.
So you think it might be in March as opposed to February?
That's what it's looking like, yes.
Okay.
Great, thank you.
Ms. Wazak?
Thank you. I guess we're bouncing back and forth between topics this evening. So I wondered a little bit more about parking. Can we provide free street side parking during the holidays? I know we have parking in the city lots that is free, and we've had some businesses requesting free parking on the streets where they are located.
I don't know if Reggie's still on. We haven't done that before, and I will tell you part of the reason for that is because the people who work there take up those spaces, and then there is no parking for visitors. So that's why we haven't done it in the past. I'm happy to work with Reggie and the team and discuss that and get back with you all on whether that makes sense for the community. Reggie, any thoughts on that one? Have you all discussed that? I do remember seeing something about that.
No, that is absolutely correct, and from what I understand through old correspondence, that this was discussed many years ago, and that was the conclusion. I believe that is still the case. That if the meters are intended for those who use more turnover traffic, a couple of minutes to a few hours, and if there's no cost to the meters, the same cars would come and occupy those spaces all day long, particularly by the staffers of the businesses, and it would not leave space for the patrons.
Yeah, impacting the businesses themselves. So I believe at the time that it was discussed several years ago, the businesses did not want it. So we'll discuss that again internally. I don't know that we can make a decision on this call, but thank you for bringing it to our attention. We'll talk about it.
Okay, thanks for revisiting that. And then another question was, I wondered if we could provide some information about the fitness center item that's on the consent agenda. I'm asking because I heard a few concerns from the community about spending funding on this. However, I am seeing it as a really powerful, get it, a gym, powerful. I'm seeing it as a really powerful recruitment and retention strategy. So I just wondered if we can talk a little bit about why we're spending that money, whether that in fact is true that it's recruitment and retention focused, and whether there's anything else behind putting in a small gym in the police headquarters.
I think we're getting a bit ahead of ourselves on this, since this is on the agenda.
It's on consent.
Oh, it's on consent. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, and I'll let Chief talk about this, but I will say that for probably the 8 or 9 years that I've been here, or that we began discussing it, we looked around for gym membership for our police officers, but we also recognized that there was a real wellness component to being able to work out and just decompress for our officers, particularly if they're working double shifts. But it turned out to be very, very difficult because, one, storage of weapons if they go to Planet Fitness or one of these other gyms, whether they store their weapons in the car in the middle of the day. If they wanted to go home and work out, then the payment was all over the place. So we realized, we even tried at one point to put a gym down in the garage, and that just didn't have the appropriate ventilation. So we've done everything we could to try to give the wellness piece to that. Really important, though, that our DPW, our staff, because many of our staff like to go walking and work out as well, and our police officers have the opportunity to do that during the day, from a health, wellness, and a mental health wellness perspective. Chief, I know we've discussed this a little bit, and you've seen this in all of your conferences. There's a big discussion about the benefits of having a fitness center on site.
Thank you, Tracy, and thank you, Councilmember Walzak. Yeah, that's accurate. I don't think it's any secret that police officers have a higher elevated level of stress and stressors on the job. According to BJAG and IACP, the average officer of a heart attack, or the average age of an officer who has a heart attack, is 49 years old as compared to 67 for the general population. There's a bunch of health statistics we could go into. We could talk about the retention and recruitment, how this plays a significant role in retaining our officers and recruiting new officers, and speaks to our commitment to employee wellness, not just officer wellness, but employee wellness, and not just from a mental health standpoint, but we're holistically looking at investing in our employees and their wellness from a financial perspective, whether that be educating them on retirement, how to invest, to have a better life after retirement. Mental wellness, as you know, our MWCI program, our CIT program, the different things that we're doing both internally and externally for mental health, but also their physical health. And as Ms. Douglas mentioned, we have researched and looked into different options for providing our employees with the ability to work out and stay physically fit. It's no secret that if physically fit employees are happy employees and can produce better on the job and are safer on the job. We've looked at different gym memberships, and we've just for the police department alone, we're looking at somewhere around $55,000 a year for gym memberships for employees, which would be an operating expense, an annual operating expense. And we're looking at about $250,000 over 5 years versus this one-time expense for the physical fitness equipment for the gym, for which was spec'd out in the plans of this building, nearly 10 years ago as the building was designed. We are now at a place where the gym in the building is basically complete, and we're now trying to process or place this order so that we can go ahead and outfit the gym that's been built with the equipment. Again, this is a one-time expense. There are no maintenances included for the first year. The maintenance cost in out years is been quoted at about $2,500 a year, which is minimal. We're deciding right now whether or not we were going to move forward with that because some of the maintenance is more routine, if you will, and can be, we can see if there's wear and tear. We can call, and it can be done without a maintenance agreement. We can just call when needed. I think that answers your questions. Do you have any other questions about the cost associated with it?
Yeah, and I guess I was just wondering if it's just open to Hyattsville officers, or if it's open to other officers in our area, and if they were going to help pay for it in some way. And also wondered if any other city employees are welcome to use the facility. I know it's a secure facility, so I'm not sure if that's workable or not.
Including council members.
Including Joseph.
So we would like for all, we envision all city staff and all city employees to be able to access this facility. We are in the process of researching CJIS compliance or compliance with CJIS policy and state and federal regulations as it relates to secure facilities and databases and systems and things. We are taking a look at that, and we do anticipate being able to open this up to as many city employees as possible.
Yeah, and we are doing this study right now, as you recall. Well, we're drafting the RFP to try to look at ways we can partner with other police departments. There may be some challenges in terms of them paying us for that particular component because of the bond. But we're working that with Ron to figure out if we could actually take funding for something like that. But we do recognize the benefit and advantages of working with our surrounding municipality police departments.
Okay, thank you.
Colleagues, any other questions or comments? Okay, seeing none. Thank you, Chief, and thank you, Ms. Douglas.